How do you handle your child's disappointment?
I suck at it.
I don't.
Oh, yes, you do. We'll find out. Hello, I'm Sandra Jones-Keller, author of 21 Lessons to Empower the New Age Kid, and you are?
Thomas Keller.
So today we are going to talk about your child's disappointment. And I like to talk about topics or bring in topics that are fresh and really authentic for us so that...
So why is this fresh?
Well, because it just happened yesterday.
All right.
So we were
Refresh my memory.
So we were at Universal celebrating my birthday, had a fabulous time, and I had planned the whole day out. We're going to do this, and this, and so there was one ride that Mecca wanted to go on.
Because she's missed it the last 3 times we were there.
Yeah, we have season passes. So we get out of one ride, and we were going to go get our butterbeer and then head over to the last ride of the day that Mecca wanted.
But we forgot the park closes at 5 instead of 7, 8. Yeah.
So it was 10 till 5, and it was like, oh, shoot, it's closing. So we got our butterbeer, and we're running to the ride. We got to the ride at like 5:02.
First off, notice the priority. The butterbeer was more important than the ride.
Well, that was on the list of things we wanted to do. Okay. So we get to this ride at 5:02, and the guy is like, no, we are not letting anyone else in. And I went, oh, no. So I looked at Mecca's face, and she had the look.
Yeah, I know.
And what is the look, Mecca?
Yeah, that's right.
What is the look? It's like...
I don't know how to describe it. It's a certain look.
It's the look. And
yeah, so, puppy dogs give that look.
The puppy dog.
Like, a puppy dog look.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so anyway, I started feeling bad. I'm like, oh man, this is like the second or third time she's missed this ride.
Right.
And she's disappointed. So I'm talking about this because I've noticed this pattern in myself where it's with Mecca, but it's with you and it's with my mom, like people that are close to me. I don't like people to be disappointed. But we're talking about parenting. Right. So what I've noticed in myself is that when Mecca gets disappointed, then in the past, I'm getting better, then I've tried to overcompensate.
Like, well, yeah, isn't it natural to feel for your child when your child's disappointed?
Yeah, I think it's natural. But I also think that when I start parenting from overcompensating, then I'm doing both of us a disservice.
Okay.
Because, I apologized and acknowledged that, I didn't plan it out so that she could do this right. So I apologized and I acknowledged it.
Right.
And then at that point, I think, I need to just kind of let her be with whatever she's being with and feeling.
Okay, so you weren't letting her be then?
Well, then I started trying to figure out, what can I do to make her feel better?
Oh, okay.
Feeling like it's my responsibility to make her feel better.
Okay.
And so I think the problem with that is, one, I don't let her develop any muscles that she needs to be able to be disappointed and then bring herself out of it.
Because everybody goes through some disappointments, some failures, some tough times.
Yeah. And then 2, when I start parenting from being over-accommodating, then I don't think I'm being a powerful parent.
Okay. You noticed you didn't feel like you were powerful yesterday after that happened.
Actually, I was much better than I have been in the past because I started, immediately doing my forgiveness work of whatever I was making this mean. But like in the past, what I have done is she lost her little stuffed animal at one time, and she was very disappointed.
That's right.
So I went out.
Wait a minute. We were at Harry Potter World before a year ago.
Why are these always at Universal? But that's okay.
Okay, and Sandra bought a little animal for Mecca, and Mecca was wearing it around in her scarf
all day. She
wore it on a ride, just hanging in her scarf. And what?
Okay, so I took it off and we put it in the lockers so I wouldn't lose it. I lost it in the lockers.
She lost it in the lockers while we went and did a ride, and then it wasn't there. So she got extremely disappointed. And then what happened?
Okay, now I won't ride that ride till this day.
So we didn't. Go ahead and tell her what happened.
So what happened was I, try to be overconfident. So I went and actually bought her another little stuffed animal.
I hate him now.
The same animal. The same animal.
Exact animal.
Yes.
And I probably should have told her it was the same one that I found it, but never mind. I didn't do that. But anyway, so I went and bought her. She's giving me a dirty look.
And she ended up hating it and threw it away or hid it somewhere.
It's hidden in my bed.
It's hidden in her bed, so she despises it.
Yeah, but the point is...
It's a replacement.
The point is, I kept being overly accommodating, trying to lift her mood instead of just letting her be.
Okay, so now, when she said, how are you with your child's disappointment? I said, I'm fine.
No, you're not.
She said, I'm not fine. So let's hear your perception of me.
Why do you think you're fine?
Because I feel like I'm okay with letting Mecca go through it for the most part, because I think it's important for people to feel their disappointment, work their way through it, develop character. Now she's looking at that, so let's hear her perception of me.
I think in your head, that's how
that is exactly what happens in my head.
Oh, but in actuality, like...
what happens?
Oh, you're just as bad as I am.
Oh, am I?
Yeah, you are.
I didn't buy her another animal.
No, you didn't. You didn't buy her another animal, but one time she was disappointed about Christmas, and you felt bad for a few days about that.
Yeah, sure. Well, it's Christmas. Anyhow, so what's the point of this conversation?
So the point is, when I become over-accommodating to my child's either disappointment or frustration and trying to fix it for them, then I think I'm depriving her of the opportunity to learn that skill. It's an important skill. Otherwise, you become an adult throwing tantrums and doing things to get your own way. If you never learn how to deal with disappointment or upset. At me? I actually wasn't, but since you got out of frame, I think you...
Well, that's true. How many people do you know that are adults, 30, 40, 60, 50 years old, who act like children and still do the same responses to disappointment, anger, or whatever, like they did when they were 5 years old?
Because they didn't learn a skill or a powerful tool to actually deal with their own frustration versus lashing out. Right.
So how would you handle this that happened yesterday with Mecca now after you reflected on it?
Well, so what I started doing yesterday when I recognized she was disappointed, then I felt like it was my fault, So that was like double. But I recognized that I was going into the over-accommodating behavior, and I just started, knocking it off. It was like I said, I acknowledged it, and I just started, doing my forgiveness work on whatever I was making it mean about me, and making the whole situation mean, until I started finding some peace. Okay. So what do you do when you...
Well, I try to look into myself and see, do I think that it's something that she should go through naturally, or do I try to jump and fix it? Which is also a natural male reaction, is try to fix situations, repair, fix, all that stuff. So the bottom line is I try to be reflective, at least somewhere in the process, to see, am I reacting for myself, or I'm reacting for our daughter who's going through this? Am I living a pattern that I developed in childhood that had just worked, in my perception, for 10 decades? Or, am I really here for myself, or am I here for my daughter?
And that brings up a good point. It's sort of, last week we talked about imposing your childhood desires onto your child.
Yes.
But this is the same thing. It's projecting my childhood disappointment and guilt onto my daughter. I could be. Maybe I experience disappointment, and it's like...
I'm overcompensating nowadays.
Because of the disappointment that I had as a child that she, doesn't even have. But I'm reacting like it and trying to make it better.
So here's what happened after she went and got this other little animal that Mecca, our daughter, then turned her back on and scorns. You finally asked Mecca, do you want this animal or something? What happened?
And she said no.
Mecca said she wasn't interested in replacing this thing in the first place. But you had already gone out and got another one to substitute. So it's like you were on automatic pilot until you could take a moment and reflect back.
Absolutely. And so, I don't know, did it improve or make the situation worse, me getting you that other tiny too?
I hate him.
So it made it...
But you keep him. You know where he is. He's in your room.
Yeah.
But it's
If you hate him, why do you keep him?
He's a memorabilia.
he's a memory of the loss.
He's a memory of the loss?
Yeah. But I also hate him.
But so anyway, so so
Well,
that's
that's for another video.
that's a perfect example though. Hold on. I was acting out of my guilt, whatever. I was acting out of something other than power. I went out and bought this other thing,
Right.
which she then hates anyway.
I think the idea is to take some moment after these things happen and reflect inside on ourselves to see really what the best behavior and action is for the child.
Yeah, so that I am not and you are not projecting your own guilt and your own disappointment onto your child and trying to make up for it.
More to come next week. Did you say you're the author of 21 Lessons?
I'm the author of 21 Lessons to Empower the New Age Kid, available on Amazon. Check out my YouTube channel where you can go back and see our other videos.
Sandra Jones-Keller on YouTube.
And then sandrajoneskeller.com. Thank you and have a fabulous day.